Hey everybody, it's Master Galengeist here, bringing you my review for Captain America Issue 0. And I really enjoyed this issue. It was a nice way to kind of relaunch Cap and get us ready for the two-prong approach that we're going to be having with one series headlined by Steve and one series headlined by Sam. And this was just a really great issue to do that with. And I got the one that has the wraparound cover, so you got awesome Sam on the front showcasing his new shield, which I really like the design, by the way. I don't mind that we are now getting to a point where we're going to have different kind of shields for different kind of caps. I mean, U.S. Agent has his own shield as well. And then you've got the wraparound and you got Steve on the back. Steve utilizing the shield that we've usually been seeing. But this is a really nice cover, and it's definitely the usual kind of quality that we've gotten from Marvel, barring that one kind of Iron Man one that I had, but I'm like, yeah, that is just fucking boss, and just really beautiful and really awesome. I'm like, yes, this cover, I like it. So, how would you start this off, you would think? And it's like, well, we have Zola pretty much talking about, like, yeah, there's shit going on. I utilize shell corporations to make this rocket that will evolve the human race into Zolasauruses. So very much getting a vibe of that one kind of dude that Spider-Man's like was dealing with, where he's like, I just want to turn people into dinosaurs, and Spider-Man's like, you could cure cancer, but he's like, I want to turn people into dinosaurs. And Zola thinks that this is going to like help the human world and everything, and I'm like, if people want to be dinosaurs, cool. Like, give them the choice. Just don't be like, hey, I'm going to turn everybody into dinosaurs. I'm like, yeah, Zola, he's talking about still being within the realms of, like, the law and everything, and that nobody's going to be able to stop him with his, like, United States of Zola. And he's like, oh, come the fuck on, kind of thing. As we then see this great fucking action shot of Sam and Steve popping in to, like, lay it into Zola. It's like, goddamn. The artwork worked very well in this. And also the characterization, because you immediately see Zola getting his ass whooped by those shields, and Sam asking him if he ever gets tired of that sound, and he's like, absolutely not, Sam, as he then says, like, let freedom ring, damn right, as they're then being like, hey, yeah, complimenting each other on their shields and everything. This just really showed, like, I would have just taken a series where they're both in it. Like, this does such a good job of showing the camaraderie and how great of a partnership these guys have. And it's just like, yeah, this is fucking awesome. So I'm good to it off the get-go. So they're like, all right, we got Zola doing this shit with this rocket. Let's kind of see what we got to do. And they, like, we have pretty much that kind of meme moment where they're grasping each other's hands, being like, all right, Cap, we got this. And he's like, damn straight, Cap. So Steve decides to go low as Sam goes high because, I mean, he's got the Falcon suit stuff, so that way he can fly up and do stuff. So he's going to take on the engines while he's going to do stuff with, like, the targeting and everything. The payload pretty much of the rocket, being able to turn people into dinosaurs. And I think it's just really kind of interesting that one of the first things that they're doing to kind of relaunch this thing is like, yeah, he's Zola's gloating and everything, talking about, like, what, yeah, you're in a rocket now. It's like, I've been in these kind of situations before. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot of good art in here, but I'm just going to focus on mainly the good ones that we're kind of, like, going through, as we then see that pretty much since they're separated, we see Zola kind of hitting on them on different kind of areas, because we see that Zola, since he's able to utilize his kind of, like, disparate kind of more AI-like form, he's able to have a kind of thing down in the engine room, and then one on top of the rocket to kind of, like, deal with Sam with what he's doing, as Zola pretty much kind of, like, mucks with the comms and everything. Let's see here. Zola, of course, is like, why are you standing in my way? I'm like... And then Steve's like, yeah, we only need to leave you behind, man. Whatever. So he just keeps going in, trying to go for the controls, as Zola keeps kind of putting up more defenses. And that he's talking about how the world needs a bold visionary to like liberate it and everything, and it's funny because Steve's like, the world doesn't belong to you, and Zola's like, yeah, it belongs to them, not me. But like, I, Zola, the Sentinel of Liberty. It's interesting that he put that moniker on himself, as we are going to be seeing that that's one of the titles mainly that Steve's doing for the Sentinel of Liberty kind of thing. So it's like, all right, let's kind of see how this kind of goes. Let's see. Talking about like doing the whole human evolution, and Steve's like, what do you think? What makes you think you're going to be able to stop me? He's like, because you're trapped in a rocket that's going to explode. And Steve's like, not my first time. It's like, yeah, he's had to deal with this situation mainly when he went into the ice, but also like multiple other times before. And then Zola's like hitting on Sam for being Captain America. Like, what kind of America are you? The one that's going to be underwater, the one that like doesn't address fires, jails people, screws with its environment, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'm that Captain America. It's interesting because Zola is bringing up problems that Steve and Sam do have to deal with, and yes, that doesn't stop them from donning the moniker of Captain America to try and make things better. And I really like them kind of detailing that kind of aspect because, yes, Zola's plan is kind of batshit fucking classic old school kind of cartoon villain kind of thing of like, I'm going to turn people into dinosaurs to save them, as he then actually brings up like a lot of the kind of problems that are kind of like going on. And then we see that Steve's pretty much got to deal with like the G forces that's kind of going on, and that he's like, yeah, I'm going to watch you die slowly. And like, do you like, after all of your years of enduring absurd optimism, do you finally see the truth? As he's talking about like he's been controlled by the military, the only ones who truly believe in you are the other fossils of a more ignorant time, the lies that were fed by those you trusted even your glory days. Do you see how America has left you behind? And he's like, no, I just think that you haven't learned what we do with tyrants, as he tosses the shield at him. And then Steve has a really great line of like, you admire Hitler, Zola? Go meet him. As he then just frickin' tanks his ass. I'm like, yes, Steve, there you go. Let's see here. And then Sam brings up like what drives people to pick up the shield and help people, and it's a special kind of fool, and the same kind of fool who'd bust into a rocket as it's getting ready to leave the second layer of Earth's atmosphere and kill him. And all the kind of stuff that it would be to be that kind of, to be Captain America. As he then kind of beats his way into the rocket and having to deal with all the different kind of things that are going to be like firing at his ass. Let's see. And then we see pretty much the main kind of not disc, but like spherical weird ass thing kind of control, as Zola's like, yeah, screw you, man. It's like, you've got such drive, strength, and hubris, saying that they must be tired and everything, that he's eternal, his hunger is beyond comprehension and everything, that they're running from like, let's see, that his genius will transform the world and everything. Let's see. That they're nothing in the scheme of the world. And it's hitting on both like Steve and Sam, and saying that you're just you're just one man, and what can one man do? And he's like, that's just it, Zola, I'm not one man. And then we get the nice action shot of both of them saying, I'm Captain America, as they both take him out. It's like, yeah, alright. The old alley-oop and the dunk. That's just like, fuck yeah, man. Let's see here. And then they're just like, alright, did he tell you how to turn this thing around or whatnot? Like, how to like alter it or anything? Sam's like, no time. So he just made a hole in the ceiling, and they pretty much just busted the shit up. It's like, alright, we'll take that. As Sam pretty much flies him out to stop the rocket from turning everybody into dinosaurs, as it then blows up. And it's kind of funny because they're then talking on the way down, bringing up the whole kind of I love this because they're talking about the same kind of way of like differentiating Spider-Man, of being like, uh, he's like, "Are you going to be the astonishing Captain America, or is that going to be me?" And then Steve's like, "Really, Sam? Now?" He's like, "If you want my opinion, I think uncanny Captain America suits you, not spectacular Captain America. I mean, sure, but I think you could really pull off uncanny. Why don't you take uncanny?" And then it's just funny to have that going down as it then blows up, and then Steve catches him, and they pretty much like, he utilizes the shield to kind of like splash them down into the water. And I just love that Steve just goes about it like, "How about no adjectives? We're both just Captain America." And Sam's like, "I could get behind that. Yeah, that could work," as they freaking fist bump. And I'm like, that's awesome. It's great to kind of see that they're able to understand and get both Steve and Sam like that, and they have a great kind of funny, jokey thing going on, and they're just at the end, they're like, "You know what? We're both Captain America." And they're like, "Yeah, we can live with that." And they're just that in tune, and they just know that it's not important. It's just like, we're both Captain America. And I'm like, all right, man, that works. So then the last bit starts dealing with pretty much setting up the respective kind of bits that we're going to be seeing. We get to Harlem, and we see this dude that I didn't know until I talked to like one of my friends on Twitter, that this is like T'Challa's adopted brother, and that this dude's like walking through the crowd later as we see Sam pretty much just standing there as the crowd's like cheering him for what he's done. And this dude's like calling it a shame that you would have been a great Wakandan, perhaps a better leader than his brother. Instead, they will tear you to pieces, but who knows, maybe you'll win, maybe Wakanda falls forever. And this is like the adopted brother of T'Challa. And I'm like, I didn't know who this was. And it wasn't important. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's setting up some kind of Wakandan kind of thing of what's going on. So we'll kind of see how that kind of works out. I'm like, all right. And then we get over to what's going on with Steve's, and it's talking about some kind of contest and about closest friends and dearest enemies, like to the Century game. That the rules are simple, they know them, they live them, asking if they're prepared to begin, as they say yes, as we see the star symbol for both like the shield and Bucky's arm. And your star points await, some old, some new, your moves as ever at your discretion, the world is art to build, to break, to burn, let a new day dawn. So it's like, okay, that's kind of interesting. That's a pretty effective tease of like, okay, there's something going on, some kind of game, some kind of participants. It's linked up with stars and whatnot, linked up with the shield. So we'll see what goes on. As then, of course, at the back end of the issue, we get more kind of things just telling us, of course, Sam's is the Symbol of Truth series and what he's going to be kind of dealing with, and Steve's is the Sentinel of Liberty and what he's going to be kind of dealing with. So I did like this because it was just a great kind of adventure that showcased why both of them are great as Captain America, and dealing with different kind of just showing how they have different kind of styles, and also introducing Sam's new shield like this. This was an effective way to do that, because it's like, I saw that they kind of gave him a shield in United States of Captain America, and I jumped out of that on issue 2 because it didn't. There were things in it that didn't really work for me. This one worked for me on a better kind of level, because the artwork, the characterization, just the thing to kind of set up what's going to be going on with these two characters just worked very well for me. Now, it doesn't really deal with any kind of story importance, as I've said. It just mainly setting up and teasing. So if you just want to jump into either or respective kind of series, you would be fine with that, because this is just an issue 0. It's $4.99, and I think I got great value out of it. I mean, I love the cover, I love the artwork, and I love the characters and story of what we got of Zola doing a typical kind of stupid ass thing of like, I'm going to evolve people into dinosaurs. You really didn't think that through, Zola? I mean, granted, if it'd been like, hey, if you want to be dinosaurs, that would have been interesting to see how the cast would be like, all right, as long as you're not forcing people, go for it. And he's like, really? Really? I think that would confuse Zola. It's like, what the hell? But then again, I don't think Zola would understand how in demand certain people would be like, I want to be a dinosaur man. Though a Zolosaurus, I don't know what the fuck that would be, and we want to know like what would kind of be entailed with it. So, of course, he would go the more route. I'm like, everybody's gonna do it. It's like, all right, how's that gonna fix things, man? You know, because there's still problems and shit. You just turned people into dinosaurs. I've changed a variable. And then just seeing the banter and everything and the problem-solving abilities of Steve and Sam would just work really well. It's just an enjoyable kind of romp to get you to be like, yeah, this works pretty well. So I'll be interested to see how each respective series does. And if potentially they both work out, I might have those two. Granted, I would like to review a lot more comics. It's just they're more expensive, and I'd be like, Marvel, employ me so that way I can read more comics and just talk about them because I love them. But I do have a good feeling of, since this was pretty much worked upon by the people that are going to be working on each of those series, since they're able to have such a good handle on both characters, I do have high hopes for them, so hopefully those check out and work out. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.